Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I thought I'll make this video for all the people that have been asking me for the Ruqya method. You've been asking me with regards to the Ruqya course. However, we're not fully ready to start teaching the Ruqya course, as there's a lot of new information we're finding out, and we're trying to formulate a robust Ruqya diagnosis and treatment plan. So this video, guys, please do not share it with anyone, because it's only for you. So if I've sent it to you, it's just so that you can crack on with your diagnosis and treatment. However, this is the method we have settled upon, meaning it is this method is what we're going to use for the layperson, someone who doesn't really want to know about the nitty-gritty details regarding the spiritual diseases. So they don't want to know if they've got sihr, or they've got ayn, or kabal sihr, or any of this stuff. So I'm not really going to go into any of that, and I'm not going to answer any questions that are related to the actual spiritual disease. Like you might say, what's kabal sihr, what's ayn hasad? Well, these are the 8 spiritual diseases that we know of. There's probably more, and we've discovered just this year kabal sihr, we've discovered kabal ayn, we've discovered this foreign object thing, which I'm going to explain as well. We've discovered the waswas conditioning network. What else? And we've discovered all of these. These are new for us. That we didn't know anything about these before, and we just discovered them this year, which has prompted us to just change our whole diagnosis plan and treatment plan. So this diagnosis method, the main thing is, it will inshallah capture all the spiritual diseases, whether you know about them or you don't know about them. And the treatment plan will do the same. It'll destroy them all, whether you know about them or you don't know about them. And this method is so good that myself personally, I have used this or something very similar to it, and I've gotten better in the space of like 10 minutes. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get better in 10 minutes. However, multiple times myself, my ustad, and some of our students are getting better within minutes. But shifa is ultimately, it is from Allah. So I can't promise you that you're going to get better in 10 minutes. But even if you recite for an hour, that's massive. That's 5 times what I was doing. So the effects of it should be massive. So what you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do, even before you start your diagnosis, and this is probably the most important step. So by the way, before I start this, any questions regarding what I'm teaching here, fire away. But anything unrelated, like, brother, what is this, or what is this, I don't have time, guys. Like, not right now, because a separate video will be coming, going into in-depth detail about these spiritual diseases. I mean, what I would normally do is, personally, what we used to do is, we used to diagnose sihr first, then we used to diagnose ayn second, and then jinn possession, and then waswas conditioning. However, there's so many spiritual diseases, you're going to get confused. Now, if I ever reacted to the sihr here, this is important, you need to listen to this. We would then try and find other elements of the sihr, like who's done the sihr on us, who's the perpetrator, have they given us a ta'weez in the house which we need to destroy. And all of this, you can locate it by doing the diagnosis. I can teach you how to do this. Not just that, sometimes they give you objects. If you touch them, it reconnects you onto the sihr. However, rest assured, because our new method of treatment destroys the whole thing. So even if you have been given things by the magician, they'll be rendered useless if you follow our treatment plan. That's why this method, I want to try it out on you guys, see if it works. I mean, I know it works. I know it works. There's no doubt about it. I want to just give it to you, and hopefully it will suffice you. You won't want to think about which spiritual disease are you being afflicted with, and if you do want to know about the in-depth detail, then you're just going to have to wait. The other course will be coming soon, inshallah. Now, the most important step of the Ruqya diagnosis is establishing a reference point. A reference point is your natural state without any Ruqya being recited. So you're going to lie down without a pillow and your eyes closed. Your eyes have to be closed for 10 minutes. You can mimic the Ruqya by, doing the alphabet or counting to 100. But the point is, you just want to know how you feel without any Ruqya being recited. This is to give you self-confidence as well as to your natural state. Which brings me to the next point. Are the reactions you're going to get during the Ruqya. These reactions are from Allah. It does not mean you have a jinn. Even if you have movements, it does not mean you have a jinn. The reactions are from Allah. And there's two things you need to remember with the reactions. And that is, they must be significant, very significant. Significant does not mean intense in terms of intensity. There has to be a very clear deviation from the reference point that you established in the beginning. And secondly, and these things go together, is that they need to be consistent. So it's not enough if your finger just moves a little bit, or you get a little spasm here just once, maybe even twice, and you've been reciting for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's not enough to class it as a reaction, because Allah is the one who is giving you these reactions. There is an ijma by the scholars which proves that these reactions are coming from Allah. There is no, this is not up for debate. So, now that we know the reactions are coming from Allah, you have to remember, you're asking Allah to convince you during this diagnosis, to show you if you are afflicted with a spiritual disease. So, when Allah is going to give you a reaction, He is not stingy when it comes to giving reactions. Are you with me? He will give you believe me, I was afflicted with all of these spiritual diseases. And even the one which may seem like the most harmless one here, waswas conditioning, there was no jinn involved here. It's like a conditioning that is left by either the qareen or a previously possessing jinn. And even with this, I was having heavy reactions within seconds of reciting. Yes, your sins will play a part. If you're committing major sins, or you're persistently committing minor sins, which then become major sins, it will affect your diagnosis. It might take you longer to react. I have some people reacting after 10-15 minutes. That's too long if you ask me. It's quite long. But alhamdulillah, your dua is being accepted. Now, we've got an article which I can send you, but the dua of the Ruqya dua of a Muslim will always be accepted in this world. Always. We know this from experience. There's no ifs or buts about this. So yeah, the reactions should be very significant. So if you've got the thought in your head, I'm not sure if that was a reaction, then it's not a reaction. At that point, it's not a reaction unless it escalates. Are you with me? Yeah, this is important for me to mention, because reactions have to be clear. So the method of diagnosis, guys, you're only asking two questions, as opposed to back then we were diagnosing this, then this, all of this, and you were really trying to get into the nitty-gritty as to who's doing the sihr, who's doing the ayn, who's doing, this, that. And to the point, guys, when I was doing a diagnosis, my diagnosis looked like this. I was able to identify all of these elements of the sihr network. The ta'weez, where the main jinn inside the magician. Where is the ta'weez, and all of this information. Are there jinns around the ta'weez? You can check all of this. And if you still want to do this, I'll show you how to do it. However, it's not necessary for you guys. I'm telling you, this method is going to blow your mind, inshallah. And it was something similar to this method that I used on myself, which eventually eradicated the sihr. Because I want you to pay attention to this. You're not going to be just removing the spiritual disease from yourself. You're going to be attacking it at its root. So to give you an example with this, I know I'm going a bit deep here, but with waswas conditioning, if a jinn enters you via sleep paralysis and it leaves your body, it's left your body now, you will still have the waswas conditioning network. Can you see this thing here? It's like a thing that latches on once the jinn enters you. This allows us to kill that jinn now. When it's outside of your body, you can kill it now. Simply by doing a ruqya dua. Before anyone says, yeah, why are you killing the jinn? It's left your body, you shouldn't kill it. Well, actually, we're not doing the killing. We're simply doing a ruqya dua. And it is Allah who decides if he needs to die. I have probably killed about 3 jinns like this. I've gotten sleep paralysis several times in a night. I have to wake up there and then, do the diagnosis, kill the jinn, and then go back to sleep. So the point I'm trying to make here is, previously I would have simply just removed the waswas conditioning that the jinn would have left behind when it's inside of me. But this bit here, now that we're removing this, it seems to just pull the whole thing out. It's very effective. And same with the sihr, guys. We're not just going to be removing the sihr from your body using this method. We're going to destroy the whole network, meaning I'm going to teach you how to attack this whole thing here. All of this, even this thing here, and anything that's behind it, in terms of it's connected to anything else. And all of these jinns here that are guard jinns, I'm going to teach you how to just destroy the whole, to the point. The ruqya, inshallah, will be easy for you to do. But it's going to be difficult for the magician when you're going to be destroying all his, you're going to be undoing all his evil work. So right, let's crack on with the treatment. Sorry, the diagnosis. Question number 1. Question number 1. You're going to be asking Allah. Oh Allah. So if you're doing a reference point, you're still lying down. You need to keep your eyes closed, because some people, the reaction Allah gives them is they get shown something. It's not something in your mind. It gets shown on your eyes, your eyelids. You'll actually get shown colours or something starts happening. So the question is, you're going to be lying down and you're going to ask Allah, Allah, show me, am I afflicted with any spiritual disease that I know of or that I don't know of? Meaning these are the spiritual diseases we know of. But it's possible that there's something beyond these. I discovered this by accident. So I'm just saying this is the best way to do it. That's question 1. I would say recite ideally for 15 minutes. I mean, if you can do more, do it. But I mean, when I do a diagnosis, I react within 5 minutes. These days, it's within 2-3 minutes I'm reacting. So I would say do this for at least 10 minutes, I'd say. And the reaction has to be clear. If you're getting told, I'm not sure that's a reaction, you better believe that's not a reaction. Because when Allah gives you a reaction, you just know. Like in my case, what happens to me is I start reciting, and before I've even had a physical movement in my body, I start getting this floaty sensation. And then from that floaty sensation, my legs, I feel something moving into my left leg. And then my left leg just starts cramping up. And then it starts shaking. This means a result has come back as positive. So whatever you are asking for, it means you have it. This method is so accurate, brothers and sisters. If you're attached to this ta'weez here, I'll show you this thing here. I'm gonna make an elaborate video on this, inshallah. I could locate this. I could locate this thing exactly where it is. I knew where it was, where he kept it. In my case, to the point, if a family member, sometimes a magician gets brazen and he'll give it to the actual victim in the form of a gift. But once you locate it, and let's say hypothetically speaking, a family member was to misplace it in the house, you'll find it with ease. You will find this thing with ease by doing the Ruqya diagnosis. And that's something for a separate video, inshallah. And this is how we find out who's doing the sihr on us. Now, you will recite the question, it doesn't really matter what you recite, but the verses, the surahs which were revealed for Ruqya specifically are surahs Falaq and Nas, and we also know that surah al-Fatiha can be used for this. So we just rely on those 3 surahs. So you could recite any of them. It doesn't really matter. If you start reacting, let's say within a few seconds, clear significant reactions, you can stop your diagnosis. That means Allah has answered your dua. You know, It has to be significant and consistent. That means you have one of these 8 diseases, or something else. What I would normally do is what I did recently when I was afflicted. I reacted within a few seconds, and I thought maybe I'm afflicted with sihr, which is what seems to be the case with me this year. However, I did not react to sihr. I reacted to waswas conditioning, and then I moved on. But you don't have to do this, guys. I'm quite advanced in this, so I can do these checks with effortlessly. Now with yourself, what I would advise is move on to the next thing, next question, which is you're gonna ask, oh Allah, am I afflicted with any networks that I know of or I don't know of? And the same thing, you don't have to take another reference point. You go by your original reference point, which is here, and that should suffice you, inshallah. If you're still reacting from the previous ruqya, just give it maybe a couple of minutes until you return back to your reference point. And then you'll recite Surah Falaq and Nas. And then if you react again, you have one or more of these. Or you might even have had one or more of these as well. Yeah. So that means you have some nice. The thing is, this video is just to make things easy for you guys that are afflicted. I've been feeling bad that I've not made a video to help you, because I know I have the solution to your problems, but I don't want to overcomplicate it either. I want to give you something simple which will give you your full treatment from A to Z. Yes, it is, you might not have the full picture with regards to who's doing the sihr on you, but my Ustad has other videos on his page where he talks about how you can narrow it down as to find out who's done this on you. And I'll be releasing a separate video where I'll be talking about the actual spiritual diseases and how to define them. If you're not sure about the definition, don't worry, because these intentions, it covers it. It leaves it to Allah to show you. Now, the next bit, I want you to screenshot it, because these are the intentions for your treatment. And I do not want you to share this as of now, because we've not finalized them yet. Because it's possible we might tweak them here and there. So please, guys, do not share this video. And certainly do not upload it. And it's only because of this reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind you sharing my stuff, translating it into your own languages. Go for it. But until I give you permission, do not share this video or the information within it. As in, I don't want this getting public. So the first intention, this is easy. So with the diagnosis, we normally, to make it easier, we just do one question per intention. Or should I say, yeah. How should I do that word that right? Yeah. Otherwise, you don't want to confuse yourself. But with the treatment, these are not questions. These are you're asking Allah to cure you. So you will simply go through these in one go. Like literally, you look at them and make the intention before your treatment. You don't do them one at a time. So I will look at them. Oh Allah, kill all the possessing jinn inside. It's inside me that I know of and I don't know of. Kill all the jinn that are connected to me directly and indirectly via the external spiritual networks that I know of and I don't know of. Now, this one is a powerful one, guys. This is like a game changer. I don't want you to belittle these intentions. So I'll give you an example of what that means. It means not only with your ruqya, you don't want it to just hit this jinn over here or just this jinn over here. You want it to hit everything it's connected to. These jinns are connected to a network, guys. There is some link going between them all that connects them. So if you read on one of them, and if you add the intention to read anything that's indirectly connected to it, it will blast it. It will actually kill it. And this has been the game changer for us this year, guys. This is why our ruqya, I was doing ruqya for hours before, but now I'm doing it for 10 minutes and it just kills the whole thing off. So with this second intention, you're reading on everything. You're reading on this guy here as well. It's the master, the king jinn even. And anything that is connected to behind. Sometimes these magicians are connected to other magicians. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but that's how it gets. So you want to target the whole thing as far back as it goes. Inshallah. So this intention I'm telling you guys, it's on another level. Do not underestimate this. Then you want to destroy and disconnect from all the external spiritual networks that you know of and those that you don't know of. So let's have a look. So this is like this is an external. This is one network. How shall I make it easy for you? This whole thing here, anything coming from this is one network. So this whole thing is one network, really. Do you get me? So if you destroy this guy here, all of this gets rendered useless. It just destroys the whole thing. Yeah. So, but you want to destroy. You want to disconnect it from yourself here at the same time. Yeah, that's what. I mean, personally, I was doing it in 2 steps. I was first but you don't have to do this. I was doing intention 1 and 2 first. So I was destroying all the jinn in the network. All of these, I was destroying them, and anything that goes back to any other magician. Literally, I was finishing the whole thing off, and this was making the magicians hate me because they were thinking, "How is he doing it?" And it was happening within a matter of minutes. You don't have to take my words for it. I want you to try it and do it yourself. That's how I was. I was doing intention 1 and 2, doing it for 10 minutes, and then I'll do everything else because I was then able to diagnose myself to double check have I killed all the jinns in the network. Because if you disconnect yourself, if you do it all in one go, you won't be able to do that diagnosis. But I'm making it easier for you. If you just do all the intention in one go, and then you got intention number 4, which is ask God to cure you from all the spiritual diseases, and this includes your internal disease as well. And we have found that when you attack the spiritual disease, including it with the intention to destroy the external spiritual networks, we have found that it just pulls the whole disease out in one go. So it won't just take the internal disease out. It won't just take the network off. It takes the whole thing out from within you. Whereas previously we had to use hijama to remove the remnants, but with these intentions, inshallah, if you do it properly, it takes the whole thing out. There's no need for hijama to remove remnants. Intention number 5, you're going to ask Allah to cure you from all spiritual diseases from Iblis that I know of and I don't know of. So this has been the other major breakthrough we've had this year, is that Iblis is attacking Muslims via sihr and other ways as well. Directly, some people is attacking, and other people is attacking them indirectly. This should not come as a shock, because we know in the Quran that Iblis can do this. It's just something we've only discovered this year, that we've actually got some proof via the Ruqya diagnosis that he's doing this. There's going to be a separate video on this, but this has been a massive breakthrough, and honestly we have been getting attacked just by trying to make these videos. Yeah, so they do not want us to release this knowledge. This is like a nuclear bomb, this knowledge, because like I said, I'm not teaching you just to cure the sihr from yourself. I'm teaching you how to destroy all of this, and you have no idea how much damage this does. You literally, guys, I'm not going to say too much here. You're going to have to check yourself, inshallah. Intention number 6, you're going to ask Allah to cure you from all the external spiritual networks, directly and indirectly, from Iblis that you know of. Now, and the ones that you don't know of. This is important. Let's say this is Iblis over here. My guy, he has, astaghfirullah, he's not my guy, but he has like loads of different networks coming out of him. But they might be indirect. But because he's linked to you, you can now read the Ruqya on this and destroy all of this. Are you with me, guys? So that's what that intention. This is what is a massive. It's huge. This is a huge game changer for us. You have no idea, and this is not just going to benefit you guys. This Ruqya is going to benefit every person that has got sihr on them via Iblis, and magicians that are connected to Iblis. We know people worship Iblis, and they get sihr done via Iblis on people. So this is huge. So if you like I said, you can check all of this via the diagnosis. Do I have any sihr connected? You could make that as a third question. Oh Allah, do I have any spiritual disease, affliction from Iblis, directly or indirectly? What I mean by this is, guys, is sometimes he attacks you directly, as in he'll come and he'll do sihr on you straight up. There'll be no intermediary, it'll just be him. There'll be no subordinates. And other times he'll send the jinns, so there'll be like jinns between. It'll be very similar to this kind of network, except there'll be jinns in the middle. They might or they might not be at that wheeze. Yeah, so you can add that intention if you really want to check this. But like I said, guys, this is not knowledge that I want you to share just yet, as we're trying to formulate this plan before we do anything like that. So that's intention number 6. Intention number 7 is the main reason why you're doing the treatment, is so that you can do your main task for which Allah created you for, which is to worship Him. So you're gonna ask Allah to cure you, so that you can get back to worshipping Him properly again, inshallah. But yeah, you don't say inshallah, you say Ameen, because when you do a dua, the etiquette of dua is you say Ameen, not inshallah. Anyways, guys, that's enough from me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum.